Hacksaw Ridge, Okinawa, May 1945. The last American soldier has retreated. The Japanese counterattack has begun. And at the edge of a 400-foot cliff, a man with no weapon refuses to leave. He has no rifle, no grenades, no backup. He has a rope. By dawn, he has lowered 75 wounded men down that cliff, alone, in the dark, while enemy soldiers hunt for him. His name was Desmond Doss. Most people think they know this story. Almost no one knows the real one. But first, let's go back to where this started.
Desmond Doss was born in 1919 in Lynchburg, Virginia. He grew up Seventh-day Adventist, a faith that gave him one absolute conviction. He would not take a human life. Not in war, not under any circumstances. When America entered the war in 1941, Doss enlisted immediately. He wanted to serve. He was willing to die for his country. He was not willing to carry a rifle. What followed was 2 years of pressure designed to break him. His commanding officers called him a coward, a danger to the unit, a man they couldn't trust in combat. The Army tried to discharge him twice. When that failed, they attempted a court-martial, charging him with refusing a direct order. Doss stood in front of that hearing and refused to back down. He was not a conscientious objector. He was a conscientious cooperator. He would go anywhere they sent him. He would not carry a weapon. The Army eventually had no choice. His own sergeant told his superiors, "This man will never see combat. Get him out." He was about to be proven wrong in the worst way possible.
May 1945, Okinawa. The Americans needed to take a plateau, a flat-topped escarpment the soldiers called Hacksaw Ridge, 400 feet of sheer cliff face. At the top, an open killing ground. What American commanders didn't know, and what Japanese intelligence had calculated precisely, was that Hacksaw Ridge had a weakness. The cliff funneled attacking forces into exposed ground. The Japanese had spent 3 months building tunnels and firing positions designed to let defenders survive an artillery bombardment and emerge fighting the moment American troops reached the top. The Americans didn't know they were walking into a trap set before they arrived. Doss's unit fought their way to the top. Under direct enemy fire, no weapon, no cover, Doss moved between the wounded. He treated 55 men under fire. He dragged them from exposed ground that most medics would have abandoned. Then night fell. The Japanese emerged from their tunnels and launched a full counterattack. The American line buckled. The order came down, full retreat. Every soldier pulls back. In the chaos and darkness, Doss realizes something. The wounded men who couldn't move, the ones he had treated, they were still up there. At the top of the ridge, on ground now held by Japanese soldiers, the rest of his unit is at the base of the cliff. Desmond Doss is not with them. He has gone back, alone, in the dark, into enemy-held ground, with a medical kit, a rope, and nothing else. At the cliff's edge, he finds a tree stump. He ties his rope around it, using a knot he learned as a child. He crawls to the first wounded man he can find, and he begins. Each man weighs 150 to 200 pounds. Doss weighs 150. He cannot carry them. He can only drag them across open ground, in darkness, while enemy soldiers move through the same terrain to the cliff's edge, then lower them, hand over hand, 400 feet down. Between every single man, he prays, "Lord, please let me get one more. Just one more." Then he goes back, and again, "Lord, let me get one more." And again.
By dawn, 75 men had been lowered off that cliff. 75! The official count in his Medal of Honor citation. Some witnesses said closer to 100. Every single one of them survived. Doss himself was wounded that night, grenade fragments in his legs. He bound his own wounds and kept going. Later, a sniper's bullet hit him in the arm. He He fashioned a splint from a rifle stock he found on the ground. He waited 4 hours for stretcher bearers, rather than redirect help from men more critically wounded than himself. Then, on a separate patrol weeks later, a rifle grenade exploded near him. He waited 5 hours for stretcher bearers. When they finally reached him, he saw a soldier nearby in worse condition. He climbed off the stretcher, told them to take the other man first. Then, he crawled 300 yards to the aid station on his own.
In October 1945, President Harry Truman placed the Medal of Honor around Desmond Doss's neck. Truman looked at him and said, "I'm more afraid of you than I am of the Japs." The same officers who had spent 2 years trying to remove Doss from the army, who had called him a coward, a liability, a danger to his unit. Those same officers personally wrote the letters supporting his Medal of Honor nomination. Every one of them. Doss went home to his wife, Dorothy. She had carried his Bible with her every single day he was overseas. She never let it out of her hands. He lived until 2006. He never thought of himself as a hero. He always said he was just doing his job. Desmond Doss walked into the worst battle of the Pacific with no weapon and an army that had spent 2 years trying to destroy him. He came back with 75 men. He didn't think he did anything extraordinary. He was just answering a prayer. One more. Just one more. Subscribe to Stealthline. A new story drops every week.